Oh.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to part 3 of the world's biggest unboxing. Today I got 2 different brand options for you. I'll be showing off Strike King. Got a whole massive box of that. And then we got some Gary Yamamoto custom baits. The main reason I paired these 2 brands up together is because across the boards they seem to get love from anglers who are beginners all the way to pro tournament fishermen because of how much love these brands get, and you can typically find them in the same areas, for example like Walmart's academies, Bass Pro, Cabela's, or even online, Tackle Warehouse and stuff like that. Again, most people don't have anything bad to say typically about Strike King or Yamamoto. They're not ever really involved in any controversy or drama or anything like that. They're just genuinely good fishing brands. So this is kind of me just trying to put y'all on to some good companies, good brands and options and stuff. So starting out with Strike King right here, we got a whole bunch of stuff. This box is about to explode with how much stuff is in here. And right on the surface you can see some Rage Swimmers, aka Strike King's version of a paddle tail, in some really nice shad colors. And then we got a green pumpkin right here. We got them in 2 different sizes. This right here is the 3 3/4 inch. And then we got the 3.25. This right here is going to be Pearl Flash. And then we got the 3 3/4 inch in Ghost Shad. Then we got the 3 1/4 inch in Green Pumpkin. Really nice baits. They come in clamshells, so your paddle tails are going to stay straight for as long as you keep them. I've heard that these Rage Swimmers are a lot more durable than most paddle tail swim baits, so we'll have to put that to the test on the channel. Again, since the stuff's just on top, I'm just going to pull straight from the top. We got a whole bunch of top water options. So we got KVD Poppin' Perches, we got KVD Pad Perches, we got this right here is the KVD Splash, I think. And we got it in this color right here. It's called Black Lab. It's got this really cool bottom with this kind of rainbow glitter going through that black body. And then we got the 2 KVD Perches. These right here are both going to be in the color Bottoms Up. Essentially this is a June bug. If I was to take this out and show you, you know, why not? Let me just take it out and show you real quick. Again, it's got that June bug bottom as I mentioned just before. Really nice color. And then it's got that chartreuse top so you can see it really easily, along with the skirt that really helps it walk and have a nice natural kind of movement. Lastly, we got the red eyes, which are going to help create almost like a target for fish to key in on and potentially increase your bite ratio. But really nice frog right here. Pretty soft, supple. Seems like it's going to collapse really easily whenever a fish goes to eat him. I think I'll be able to get nice hook sets. I really like the skirt material along with the color pattern in general. So again, this is Bottoms Up. Another top water bait I picked up was the KVD 2.5 wake bait in the bluegill pattern. This right here is going to help me fish fall to wintertime transition, reeling it extremely slow on the surface. But I'm really excited to work with this wake bait. It seems to have a really nice wide body profile, so hopefully it attracts some big fish. And lastly, for top water, we got a KVD Toad Buzz in a 3/8 ounce and that green pumpkin chartreuse. Next up for hard baits, we're going to go into some crankbaits. So this right here is going to be the Chick Magnet Junior. They also have the Chick Magnet, which is going to be your full standard size. But I'm personally a big fan of the Junior, especially right here. This is the spring craw color. Again, this spring craw color, I mean, it's in the name. You fish them winter to spring transition, maybe even a little bit into that spawn. Really nice color pattern. It's really going to entice those strikes. Not to mention, it's got that circuit board lip, so it's really going to help deflect off cover and last a lot longer than your standard crankbait. Next up, created around the same time as the Chick Magnet, we have the Hybrid Hunter and the Hybrid Hunter Junior. This is going to be your chrome blue back, which essentially is going to imitate most of your bait fish profile. And then this is just going to be fire craw. I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with fire craw. The big difference to note in this style of crankbait is the bill, and that it's going to help it run through wood cover a lot better. And essentially, instead of vertically diving down like most crankbaits do, it's going to help it run more horizontally through the water column. So yeah, really nice profile on these. Then the crankbait that's most popular probably, I think, in the whole Strike King lineup has to be the 1.0 or the 1.5. We got both of them here. So we got Wicked Fire Tiger in the 1.0, and then we got Red Sexy Shad in the 1.5. Then taking things a little bit deeper, we got the Strike King 3XD. It comes in some really nice, phenomenal colors. For example, like this right here is going to be Sexy Shad. Root Beer. This right here is extremely popular amongst smallmouth fishermen. Pearl Chartreuse Belly. And then just your classic bluegill pattern. So major things to note about the Strike King 3XD. It gets around 9 to 12 foot depth. Really nice finesse profile crankbait that still gets the depth zone that you really need it to, alongside the amazing color schemes that you'll find. Really difficult to get your hands on some of them, but I know a lot of guys that swear by them, especially up north. So don't be afraid to pick some up for yourself if you're looking for a nice finesse crankbait that gets around that 9 to 12 foot depth. Keeping on the same scheme of crankbaits and going deeper, we got the 5XD, and again, this one's going to dive deeper than the 3XD that I just showed. Similar to the 3XD, the Strike King 5XD comes in some really nice colors. We got Pearl Black with Chartreuse Belly, a really interesting color. We got Chartreuse Sexy Shad. We got Plain Sexy Shad. Everyone's probably familiar with this pattern. I believe that this pattern crankbait has probably won more tournaments than any other crankbait pattern, but correct me if I'm wrong. And lastly, we got Powder Blueback Chartreuse. Lastly, for hard baits, we got the Red Eye Shad. This is probably the second most popular bait amongst all of the Strike King lineup for hard baits, right next to the crankbaits they offer. But this color right here is going to be Royal Purple. Y'all know me, I'm a fan of purple, but when I saw this lipless, I just had to have it. It looks incredible. The color scheme, the paint, the eyes, the hooks are wicked sharp, so everything about this trap looks good to me. Next on the Strike King lineup, we got spinnerbaits. And I really got to hand it to him. Strike King honestly has some of the coolest looking spinnerbait skirts I've ever seen. So we got the Micro King. This is like a 1 16th ounce. It's got that hot pink and white skirt. Moving on up a size, we got the Mini King. This is a 3/16 ounce, and this is in a bluegill pattern. I'm not specific on the name, so if anyone does have the name, feel free to comment below. But it looks insane. Just your classic double willow spinner, ½ ounce. And then I picked up 2 of their tour grade compact spinnerbaits. So this one's going to be a 3/8 ounce, and then this one's going to be the ½ ounce. And then we got the color Morning Dawn, and then the other color I believe is called Rotten Tomato. Don't quote me on that, but really, really interesting colors. Like I said, Strike King has some really cool looking spinnerbait skirts, and when I saw these, I just had to have them. I don't know if I'm just a sucker for cool looking colors, but I think that it helps if you fish something that the bass aren't used to seeing all the time. I did get them in 2 different styles, so this is going to be your double willow, and then this is going to be your tandem. It's going to have 1 Colorado and 1 willow blade. That completely does it for hard baits. Let's move on to soft plastics. And fresh out the box, we got some topwater soft plastics. This is the Strike King Super Toad. Pretty much you can rig this guy just on a standalone single hook, double frog hook, or you could rig him up on the back of a buzzbait just for that enhanced action. Really nice colors. We got Watermelon Red right here. This is Watermelon Pearl. And then we got that Green Pumpkin Chartreuse. Another topwater soft plastic by Strike King. We got the Gurgle Toad. So a small difference between the Super Toad and the Gurgle Toad is they're all picked the same color so you can see them. But you see the Super Toad has those flanged kind of ends on the legs. And then these just have a curl to them, almost like a grub. So these are probably going to be a little bit more subtle profile, and then these are probably going to emit a lot more action or sound. But in that Gurgle Toad, we got just a plain black, that Green Pumpkin Pearl Belly, and then we got Blue Glimmer. And I picked up a couple packages of these just because I haven't really seen a topwater toad in this color, so I thought, I don't know, it looked interesting, why not? Moving on, we got the Strike King Game Hog. This is essentially their version of a creature bait, a brush hog, whatever you want to call it. Really nice colors. We got that Watermelon Red. We got Big Tex. Green Pumpkin Purple, I believe. I'm not sure if the camera's even really picking up that purple shimmer, but... And then we got the Magnum Game Hog in Okeechobee Craw. I think we're all familiar with an Okeechobee Craw color. Another style of creature bait that Strike King has is the KVD Rodent. So this right here is in the Fire Craw color. And then we got it in Junebug right here as well. But really nice baits. This is Strike King's take on a creature bait, a beaver bait, whatever you want to call it. Really nice flipping and pitching. You can put them on the back of a jig. And the colors, again, really nice colors. It seems like they're using a nice PVC plastic. Alongside, these packages do come with a plastic exterior, so it's a little bit more solid. It'll keep your baits a little bit more straight, and just keep things nice and neat. Another beaver or creature bait or flipping and pitching bait that Strike King has is the Rage Bug. This is very popular on the tournament scene, or basically anybody that likes flipping and pitching a creature style type bait. I'm going to go ahead and take these out of the package a little bit and just show y'all what I mean. Just to take one of these out for you, it comes in a really nice thick body profile, so you'll be able to get a nice hook in there, conceal it, and probably get a few fish on it before it's gone and ripped up. I really like the color scheme. This is going to be Summer Craw, so it's got that chartreuse body and then that green pumpkin side. Another thing to note about Strike King and their soft plastics is if you like coffee, if you're a coffee fanatic or an addict or whatever you want to call it, they do come coated in that coffee scent. So if you like drinking coffee like me or something, getting up early in the morning, these guys smell good. Another positive to note about these Strike King creature baits is that they do come in a clamshell package, so they're going to help your baits maintain shape, stay fresh, clean, organized, and also probably let you see how many you have. Now, these right here, I know have not been popularized yet, but the Strike King Rage Lizard. I'm a really big fan of fishing like a salamander or a lizard, so when I saw these, I was really excited to give them a try. I'm just going to go ahead and take out the clamshell. I probably won't take one out of the package, but just to show you guys, they have this Rage tab tail here on the exterior, and then each one of the flapping arms and legs that they have also have a small Rage tab on each end. So this guy right here is going to disperse a lot of water, create a lot of action, and probably entice a lot of bites. This is that June bug color, and then we just picked up watermelon red as a safe backup. So we got us a nice clear to stained water color, and then we got us a nice dirty kind of water color. Here's a bait that Strike King recently put out. I'm not sure if it was made this year or last year, but it's the Scown bug. We got it in June bug, black and blue fleck, Bama craw, green pumpkin, watermelon red, and summer craw. Alright, now that we're completely done with you know, your power fishing kind of soft plastics, let's move on to finesse. First up, we got a classic coffee tubes. This bait used to be extremely popular back in the day, and now honestly I don't see a lot of people fishing a tube. So with that being said, I'm sure there will be a reoccurrence of people using a tube style type bait. Like I said, fresh out the package, smells amazing. And then I'll just take one out. This is in that Goby-licious color. Goby-licious. I don't have a clue if I'm pronouncing that right, but Goby-lish-ish. Alright, in a 2 3/4 size. So it's got that green pumpkin on one side, and then it's got this clear purple silverish fleck on the other. If you're just looking for a different kind of profile that these fish aren't used to seeing, fishing a tube bait can be something that'll trigger a lot of strikes. If you're wondering how to rig up the tubes, then Strike King did create a tube jig head that make things really easy. This is a 3/16 ounce. You just slide them inside of the tube, push the line tie through, and then you're good to go. But really nice black nickel hooks, quality terminal tackle. If you don't have a tube jig head, then in a pinch you can always use just a standard shaky head jig head or just a ball jig head, and it should work as well. It just may not be as effective. It was storming out there. Dang, it's bad. That's why we're in here filming an unboxing. Alright, I think a really slept on bait by Strike King is the half shell. In terms of colors, we got Edge, green pumpkin purple. It's got some purple fleck in it. Sexy shad, chartreuse white and blue, and then we picked up another pack of those edges. The bait that I'm extremely fond of that Strike King makes is the Dream Shot. This right here has caught so many fish for so many people. It's really just going to be your basic worm style bait on a drop shot. So we got a whole bunch of packs in a few different colors. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 packages and different colors. We got Candy Craw, Desert Craw, another Desert Craw, Prism Shad, Green Pumpkin Sapphire, so it's got that green pumpkin with some blue fleck running through it. Really nice natural bluegill presentation. Morning Dawn. I know this is very popular amongst people up north fishing for smallmouth. Then we got Bold Bluegill. It's probably going to be really effective down here in the south. It's got that green pumpkin top with that chartreuse bottom. Help it stand out in that dirty to stained kind of water clarity. Another positive thing to note about these is that they have the open pore technology. So the color and design on these are going to be really nice. I'm going to take one out here. But essentially this is all it is right here. It's got a nice flanged tail that puts out a lot of action. One major thing to note is that they do have different sizes in the Dream Shot. So this is a 5-inch and then this is a 4 1/4. A little bit more finesse profile. This is going to be a little bit bigger profile if you're chasing the largemouth, or if you're just looking for something that you could potentially Texas rig. But this is that Fire Tiger crawler. Now the true popular stick bait amongst the Strike King soft plastics definitely has to be the Ocho. So this right here is an Ocho in 4-inch watermelon red. Now I did buy some 5-inch Ochos, but I typically buy them in a bulk package like this. So we got 30 5-inch watermelon Ochos, 30 green pumpkin party Ochos, and then 30 black and blue fleck Ochos. Buying these bulk packages can really help you save money, as well as just being efficient on the water. So if you burn through 10 of them, you don't just run out or have to go open a new pack from your bait binder, backpack, or wherever you keep them. You just have 30 in one pack ready to go. So right here I'm holding 90 Ochos, 90 stick baits right here, and it's really not taking up that much space. You could do a lot of damage with 90 stick baits. Moving on from finesse soft plastics, next up we're going to go into trailers. For starters, here we have the Blade Minnow. Comes in some really nice colors. We got Falcon Craw right here. Go ahead and show you the back side. Black and blue green pumpkin, Bama Bug, and Glacier. I'm really excited to use the bladed minnow. I think it's going to be extremely effective on the back of a bladed jig, obviously, of course, but then also putting it on a spinnerbait, or maybe even just rigging him up like you would a banjo. For anyone that knows what a banjo minnow is, this guy looks almost exactly like him, so I feel like you could get the same effect almost. But yeah, really nice looking soft plastic trailer. And another really good soft plastic trailer, or just a soft plastic bait in general by Strike King, has to be the Caffeine Shad. So these right here are the Siren color. Really slept on bait. Really nice chartreuse fluke. I think this attracts a lot of bites, just simply it being such an aggressive standout color. Ghost Shad. Really nice clear water color. And then Green Pumpkin Sapphire. It's that green pumpkin with the blue fleck running through it. Again, really nice bluegill imitation. So right here we got bluegill. We got kind of more of like a minnow presentation. And then we got your shad presentation. 3 different colors, 3 different water clarity situations. All 3 extremely effective if you know when to fish them. Another part of the Caffeine Shad lineup is the Swimmin' Caffeine Shad. It's got that coffee scent, salt impregnated. It's going to have really nice action, really nice colors. But really this is just going to be your standard swim bait. Nice sleek body, no ribs, so it's probably going to come through cover extremely well. Grass effectively. So yeah, don't be afraid to pair this guy up on a spinnerbait, a trailer for a chatterbait, swim jig, or even just fishing him alone on a ball jig head. You should have a lot of luck. Alrighty, that about does it for the Strike King unboxing. Now let's move on to the Gary Yamamoto side of things. So directly on top we got some single tail grubs that would be perfectly paired on like a finesse jig head, or maybe just like a finesse spinnerbait or something. But we got 3 different colors. We got chartreuse, watermelon seed, we got black and silver fleck. Something new that Gary Yamamoto put, I think mainly kind of geared towards live scoping and forward facing sonar, are these shad shaped worms. I'm not exactly sure when they came out with these baits, but this right here is the 3-inch, and then this is a 3.75, and the colors, I personally like them a lot. This right here is plum candy, and then this is perch. Really nice looking colors. I like the flake in them. They really are a shad shaped worm. As you can see, the top here appears to be like a worm. Turn one to the side here. You can see that it does have a little bit of width to the body, or height, excuse me. Another bait to the lineup they added was the D-Shad. Again, I'm not exactly sure how recent. I don't believe that they were extremely recent. I'm sure they've been around for a little bit. I got this in green gizzard, and this is chartreuse electric blue. And as y'all saw in the Strike King box, I got the Siren color, which is essentially like a really bright chartreuse. So I do like a chartreuse kind of fluke. I think it's extremely effective. I think it really gets bit, so you can try picking that up. So you can't talk about Yamamoto baits without talking about the Senko. And we got some in 4-inch. This is just a green pumpkin seed, and this is watermelon red. Nothing crazy, just two nice little standard finesse 4-inch Senkos. And then we got the 5-inch Senko, and this is when the crazy colors come out to play. But I'm pretty sure people have caught more bass on the Yamamoto Senko than every other Senko there ever is to this day. But again, like I said, I got a lot of really nice extreme colors. So this right here is purple emerald flake. We got bubblegum. We got bluegrass, almost like a gold and purple with this natural clear body. Really nice looking color. Again with the chartreuse pepper. Probably one of my favorite colors as well, alongside any sort of purple. Red shad. Blue large black flake. This is a color that they recently added to their lineup, and I was really intrigued by it when I saw it. I personally do like the color blue in a lot of my baits. I also think the color blue is underutilized in many situations, so I mean, you can't really tell me when you haven't seen the color blue work. I feel like the color blue works in almost every situation, from clear to dirty, and yeah, you name it. The classic watermelon black flake. This is probably the first bait I ever fished for bass growing up. I think my buddy Hayden bought me one of these. We went to Walmart and we were like 12 years old or 13 or something. And I used to do a lot of bluegill fishing, but I had never done any largemouth bass fishing. So he bought me a pack and we went out there and smacked them. And I was just amazed ever since, of course. And I mean, ever since then I've just been hooked. So smoked purple flake, watermelon with purple flake, and then lastly peanut butter and jelly. So still having some sort of a purple accent to it. All of these colors I think catch fish. I'm not sure what it is with the Yamamoto Senko, but I think that it's so soft and supple that as it falls and shimmies, it just has unmatched action. It really is probably one of the best baits to catch a fish on, or just to put for a beginner fisherman that's never caught a bass before. Now most people buy a Senko and they're planning to fish it weightless, but everybody has thrown a Senko, so it feels like every bass has almost seen a stick bait. So lately companies like Yamamoto Baits have created some more different designs that are still kind of like a soft plastic that you can fish weightless. This right here is a Yamatanuki. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I definitely tried my best there. These baits do weigh a lot. As I'm holding them in my hand, I can tell that each one of these baits probably weighs at least like 3/8 of an ounce or something like that. And yeah, that's pretty heavy for just a soft plastic. So again, you fish these guys weightless. You could put a weight in it, but there really is no need. They are extremely heavy. But in terms of colors, this is just brown, purple laminate, and then this right here is just going to be green pumpkin amber. And something similar to that, we got the Fat Ica. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's Fat Ica, but really nice rig. You can fish him weightless as well. He's nice and heavy. Durability is probably a lot more than a Senko as well. Nice thick body. But I just picked up two in the 4-inch size. I got the black with the small red flake, and then the watermelon with the gold flake. Two really nice colors. I think it'll probably give me like a clear water presentation and then a dirty water. And I just kind of cover both of my bases. These don't feel as heavy as the Yamatanuki, but they are definitely a heavy soft plastic that you could probably fish weightless or with a very small tungsten bullet weight. Now that we got finesse and weightless soft plastics out of the way, let's move on to some trailers. So with bladed jigs becoming so popular, everybody's created some sort of a bladed jig trailer, and the original classic one has always been the Seiko. So these right here are the classic bladed jig trailer that everybody used to pair with their jackhammers and just catch like 4 and 5 pounders and up. But this right here is bougie blue. Really nice, interesting colors. That really dark blue hue with the purple fleck. And then we got the blue with the black flake. And then BB2. I'm extremely excited to fish this. BB stands for Bayou Bug. They essentially have Bayou Bug and then BB1, BB2. This is their creation on another style of Bayou Bug that they have, and it probably is the nicest one of the three. Definitely the nicest one. I think the color scheme on it really appeals to me. I'm not exactly sure if it's going to appeal to more fish, but confidence is a thing when you're out fishing. So next on the lineup, we got the Gary Yamamoto Psycho Dad, and I went ahead and picked up a few of these just because they were on a sale. But I do think people are sleeping on this bait. It does not come with a whole bunch in the package. It does only come with 5, but the action and the capabilities that it have, I think, are what make this bait special. A lot of people probably just fish it on a Ned rig or something, but I'd really recommend throwing him on a jig, because if you watch any videos or look at any information, I can't read Japanese, so I don't know what any of this says, but what I will tell you is that this bait does have a bit of floating action in it. So if you pair it up on a jig, the claws will want to kind of stand up almost in a defensive manner, like a crawfish in a defensive stance. But yeah, we picked up a few colors. We got fire craw, green pumpkin blue, and then watermelon. Next up, we got the Gary Yamamoto Cowboy, and this can be put on as a trailer, but it can also be fished just as a Texas rig by itself. It has 2 huge flapping curled appendages that I think are going to be extremely effective at displacing a lot of water. And we got it in 2 really nice, interesting colors. So again, with the blue and large black flake. And then this one right here is going to be smoke watermelon purple blue flake. But yeah, again, you can fish this guy as a trailer. You might just want to consider downsizing him just like an inch or 2, and then you should be good to go. Next up, we got double tail grubs, and these are extremely effective as trailers. Reason being that they come with 22 a pack and some really nice colors. Black and blue flake, cinnamon and purple, and then that fire craw again. So I have 3 different color options. I got one for dirty, one for clear, and then that stained water. Another one of my favorite trailers by Gary Yamamoto has to be the Flappin' Hog, and the reason being is that I think these disperse a whole bunch of water, similar to the Cowboy that we have over there, but they're a little bit more of a downsized profile. You wouldn't have to cut them or anything. I think these could fish perfectly on a jig as is. You can also fish them like on a finesse jig or a Texas rig. If you did want to cut it down a little bit, you could. But really nice bait right here. They come with 7 to a pack, and I just went ahead and picked up like 5 packages. So probably one of my favorite colors here we got is this Watermelon Magic. Really nice bait fish, kind of bluegill profile, sunfish profile. Then we got green pumpkin purple copper, also a really interesting color. And then just your classic black with large blue flake. And lastly, this probably has to be the most versatile Gary Yamamoto baits there is, and it's the hula grub. And again, like I said, they're extremely effective in many different ways. So you could thread them like on the back of a football jig, or you could just thread them on a jig head. I do recommend picking them up in the 5-inch size just because they do run a little bit smaller than they are, I think, or than they appear. So the DT Hula Grub comes with 10 to a package and some really nice, interesting colors. So for example, right here we got cinnamon red blue flake, and then here we got purple emerald. So go ahead and check these out if you haven't fished a DT Hula Grub. They can be extremely effective, again, like I said, a ball jig head, Texas rigged, on a football head. Probably one of my favorite ways to fish them is just pairing them on the back of a football jig as a trailer. Well, that about does it for this unboxing. I have no more baits to show y'all for the Gary Yamamoto and Strike King side of things. So if there's anything that you really enjoyed looking at, be sure to just leave a comment, like, subscribe. If you're interested in checking out anything that I've mentioned in these unboxings, then the link will be available in the description below, so be sure to check that out. Thank you guys for staying tuned for this one. Be sure to stay following along for the next unboxing. See ya!